In Ireland, greyhounds are bred for sport. They're not seen as a domestic pet, not like your Labradors, your Retrievers, your Collies or anything like that. So basically, you're bringing them into a racing environment. They will do their term, their career on the racetrack. If they succeed, they'll stay going. If they're very good, they'll be bred from. If they're not, they're surplus to requirements and they're not required.
The reason I started Kerry Greyhound Connection is because when I came to live in Ireland, I had a pet greyhound, and the more I was out and about with him and I walked him in public and in the park and stuff, all the questions I got were just, is he a good racer, is he a good courser? And when I said he didn't do any of those things, the people just couldn't see the point. Why did I have him? What's the point of him? And they just didn't understand the concept of a greyhound as a pet. I thought, who's doing anything about this? Who's actually trying to get these fabulous animals out there into the kind of pet scene? And the answer seemed to be not very many people at all. So I thought I either have to be one of those people that continue to not do anything, or I have to do something, and that's why I started Kerry Greyhound Connection.
It's difficult to get the exact numbers, but to give you an example, this dog here, Sky, I looked up her breeder, and her sire was apparently a very good dog, and that dog had covered 200 bitches during the year. So if you start doing the numbers out of that, 6 pups per litter, you're talking huge numbers.
From 6-year Balky to Black is a non-starter.
We race 3 nights a week, 52 weeks of the year, except for January when we just race 2 nights a week. We have 10 races on the Tuesday and the Friday, which is 60 dogs, and on the Saturday night we have 11 races, which is 66 dogs.
The pups will be kept by the breeder while they're sussing them out, and they'll see how they come on with trials. If they're any good at that, they will go on to racing. After that, those that are no good will either be sold off to somebody who may try them, with a different trainer, might try a different technique. They may be sold off abroad. If they're very lucky, they'll go to a rescue, or they could go to a pound, and that's not always the best outcome.
Our aim is to educate people that all these unwanted animals are fabulous family pets, and so we want to put out that message and to get as many as pets as possible.
We researched it, and the girls were looking at the dog pounds and so on, and I think just through research it became clear to us that these greyhounds didn't have much of a life, and they're a long living dog. They can go to 14, 15, 16 years. Their racing life is often over by 3 or 4. They don't have a great life to look forward to. I think greyhounds, because they're used in racing and coursing, have a lot of misconceptions about them. So they're a very gentle dog. I'd really recommend one. They're very compatible with children. They're just a very easy dog, very loving dog.
I never considered ever having a greyhound. It was my daughter Harley, always wanted one, and I thought this is never going to happen because we live in a housing estate in Phoenix, and I thought to myself, a greyhound needs lots of exercise, which we're not going to be able to provide, and it's just a little notion that she has and she'll get over it. Claire suggested that we come and take the dogs for a walk. From then on, Amanda actually came for a home visit, and lo and behold, we've adopted Cassie, and we're delighted with her. Completely the opposite of what I imagined her to be.
Because most people's exposure to the greyhound is at the racing track, I think there can be some misconceptions and some sort of myths surrounding them. So I'd say to them, look past the myth and the misapprehension and just have a look at the greyhound for what they are, which is to say, they're a very loyal, very affectionate, very docile companion to have around the house. They're very low maintenance, and they make great household companions.
Where I live, the only greyhounds that people would have seen would have been running greyhounds, and a lot of people would have been frightened of greyhounds. But now that they meet Harley and myself out walking with Cassie, they've grown to love her, and she's just completely different than what they expected a greyhound to be. It's
becoming more of the option for greyhound owners now, because the greyhound owner is a younger person and they're more affectionate towards their greyhounds. And a lot of them are also married with young families and they dearly love their greyhounds, so they want to make sure that when they're finished racing, if they don't keep them themselves, that they go on to happy homes.
It's something that probably hasn't been done enough in Ireland. We get a lot of it all over Europe. It's a fantastic idea, but it's just getting it across to people, you know, that this is a lovable, beautiful animal. You know, it just seems to be kind of difficult to get it across. These are the most lovable dogs that you could ever imagine, and adopting can only be good for everybody.
I would encourage them to take a greyhound because, you know, after all their time racing, they'd like a nice home because they're very friendly and be very nice. I'd like to see them get a nice home when they're finished racing.
I actually run a boarding kennel for all sorts of dogs. And I have no hesitation, and even though I might be biased, I have no hesitation in saying the greyhound is probably the easiest dog of the whole lot to handle.
They're not a high maintenance dog. They don't shed much, they don't bark. They're not a good guard dog, but we weren't looking for a guard dog.
They're really fast and it's really fun to watch them sprint around the garden.
They're capable of really amazing speeds and really amazing agility, but they're couch potatoes.
Playful, like any other dog, but very timid. Her ideal situation is to be on the bed, the sofa, that's it. Maybe 2 20-minute walks.
They just lie on the sofa all day basically, but we take them for walks as well and they get up to have food.
There's an awful lot of dogs in rescue in Ireland that need good homes. But greyhounds always get overlooked in the pounds and in the shelters. The first choice is not a greyhound. I would like people even to consider when they're getting a dog that possibly a greyhound is for them, that they put them into their consideration.
People just do not understand what greyhounds are all about. So we would just love people to phone us up, you know, have an informal chat. It doesn't commit you to anything. Phone us up, ask what a greyhound's like as a pet. Come round to my house, have a cup of coffee with 10 greyhounds lying around and see how easy it is. How friendly they are, how fabulous they are. You know, these are just, they're really kind of the forgotten souls of Ireland. There is so many of them out there. Many of them are unwanted. Lots of them sadly get put down, and they make fabulous, wonderful family pets, and we really would love to home so many more. They really do deserve it.